Martha fell numb with horror as Archibald's body collapsed to the floor. She ran to the doctor, who stretched out his arms around her and held her tight. "It's all right," he said. "I promise it's going to be all right." "Yeah," growled Captain Florence savagely, "but not for you." The doctor let Martha go and carefully ushered her around so that he stood between her and the captain. Martha glanced around, looking for anything that might help them, but the only possibility, ally Jocelyn, was being guarded by two other Badger pirates. "Yeah, okay," so the doctor said to Captain Florence. "I was just being optimistic, but that's not a bad thing, you know. And anyway, you think you're in trouble? What are you clients going to do when they find out you blew up the Brilliant?" Captain Florence laughed. "We got the experimental drive." She said. "No," said the doctor. "You taken the control deck for it. And the drive is a huge, great engine at the heart of the ship, where you just blew up. Like nicked the remote control, but it's not the remote control car. Schoolboy error." Martha didn't know if the doctor was just bluffing, but neither did the Badger pirates. The Badger around them watched from the shadows and from behind the haying silks, all beginning to murmur nervously. The Captain of Florence roared at them. There was a sudden terrified silence, but Martha could tell the doctor had done what he'd always did, and undermined the tyrant. The Badger, who had grown up in this miserable, vicious ship, were now just staring to question if there wasn't more to life. "The client," said Captain Florence, "said to nick the drive or blow up the ship. We've done both." "Oh yeah," said the doctor loud enough for everyone to hear him. "I'm sure they'll see it that way. Might even design to let you live." "What?" growled the captain. "Well, look at it this way," said the doctor. "There's this war coming. They want this experimental drive to use as a secret weapon, and they hired you lot to snatch it." "Yeah," said Captain Florence. You're paid for your services, and very well you've gone about providing them. But what happens when you deliver this top-secret experimental drive to them? You're then free to go to their rivals and for suitable fee tell them what you stole." "Yeah," said Captain Florence, her crafty little eyes lighting up at the suggestion. "Exactly," said the doctor. "So you think they're going to let you walk away?" "What do you mean?" said Captain Florence. "They're honorable men, our clients. So honorable they hired pirates to do their dirty work," said Martha. Captain Florence leered at her. "We're not pirates," she said. "We're independent financial warships." "You mean you venture capitalists," said the doctor. "Yeah," said Captain Florence. "Entrepreneurs," said Martha. "Yeah," said Captain Florence. "Saps," said the doctor. "Huh?" said Captain Florence. "You're saps, stooges, and pasties," said the doctor. You're doing their dirty work. You think that you'll be grateful." "You don't get it," said Martha. "They hired you because you're nothing to them. Nothing at all. You're just be taken for a ride." Stanley, the Badger who brought Martha aboard, who still lay on the floor in the corner where Captain Florence had hit him, sat up. "Does that mean," he said, "we won't get paid?" "I assume you got half in advance," the doctor. "It might be better to just cut it loose and run." "Nah," said Captain Florence. "Nah, you're not going to run," said the doctor. "Or nah, you didn't get any money in advance. Don't tell me. I think I already know." Captain Florence didn't say anything. Instead, she charged at him. The doctor ducked under her and caught her hairy arm and tossed her lightly over his shoulder. She crashed to the floor, her high-heeled boots smacking into Stanley where he lay. "Temper, temper," said the doctor. Badgers rushed from behind the hanging silks, but they did not come to apprehend the doctor. Instead, they gathered in a circle around the doctor and the captain, all eager to see a fight. It was the Martha like the fight the boys used to have at school. She hurried over to Jocelyn, their only other ally. Jocelyn's captors seemed to have forgotten her in the excitement. Captain Florence got to her feet. She reached for the gun on her belt, but it was gone. She looked to see the doctor holding it, but as if he were surprised to find it in his hand. "Oops," he said. "What are you going to do, shoot me?" asked Captain Florence. "Definitely." "Nah," said the doctor. "You gotta have some other way to resolve disputes like this, haven't you?" Martha suspected that the Badgers did just sort out their arguments by shooting one another. We'll duel, said Captain Florence. She slid her short jacket dagger from her belt. Can you duel? I expect so, said the doctor. And to Martha's amazement, he withdrew a matching dagger from his pocket of his suit jacket. Took this from Dashiell earlier, he said. Think it's just what he would have wanted. He handed the captain's gun to one of the other badgers. Captain Florence lunged at him with a dagger. The doctor dodged lightly on his feet. A well-precise wrestler, Captain Florence lunged again, and she missed. Martha, said the doctor, enjoying himself, but never for an instant taking his eyes off the captain. Did you ever take you back to the Roman-era Egypt? Said Martha. I don't think so. Well, said the doctor, dancing nimbly around Captain Florence, making her do all the work. When I'm finished here, that's where we should go. Yeah, all right, said Martha. She glanced around, the badgers watching a rapid silence. Dr. Quick and nimble movements simply made their captain seem old and slow and stupid. Again, Martha could see their badger brains struggling to make sense of the challenge to everything they'd been brought up to believe. The kind of reaction most people had when they spent 5 minutes with the doctor. Thing is, said the doctor, still moving around inside the ring of wide-eyed onlookers, you should spend a day with the captain of Cleopatra's Guard. Taught me all of my best moves. And won a medal in the Olympics. He ducked under Captain Florence's arm and struck out at him, rolling expertly and leaping on his feet. A few of the badgers applauded. Captain Florence glared at him and charged at the doctor again. Oh, very good, said the doctor, catching Captain Florence's arm in his, sticking out a leg and tripping her over it. You nearly had me there. The badgers cheered, more than half of them now on the doctor's side, Jocelyn nudging Martha in the ribs. You fancy the doctor, she grinned. I do not, said Martha, protested. It's okay, said Jocelyn. I do a bit and all. Captain Florence and the doctor faced each other. The doctor stood tall and calm, his hair hardly even ruffled. The captain bent forward, breathing fast and raggedly, her bristled fur glimmering with sweat. She looked exhausted, and it wasn't just the fight. Martha could see, struggling to cope with being so openly challenged, and the doctor not showing an aught of fear. It was wearing her down. Martha almost felt sorry for her. Tell me if you're getting bored of this, said the doctor to Captain Florence, and we can do something else. Varmint, roared Captain Florence and charged at him. They gripped, their arms locked together, and the captain's jagged dagger just inches from the doctor's face. He struggled to resist, pushing and twisting to gain purchase, but she was clearly had a weight and strength advantage. Slowly, the captain forced the dagger close to the doctor. Jocelyn grabbed hold of Martha in excitement and horror. The doctor strained, gritting his teeth, and struggled to fend off the knife that almost touched him. And then he suddenly stopped trying. He fell back onto the floor, and Captain Florence, who had been pressing so hard against him, toppled over too. The doctor rolled quickly out of the way, and the captain crushed hard onto the ground. She let out a terrible cry of pain, making it all those watching flinch. The doctor got to his feet, and the dagger was still in his hand. Don't we stop for orange squish at some point, he said. Not quite as lightly as before, he whipped the sweat from his forehead on the back sleeve. Some of the badgers gasped. Martha turned to look at Captain Florence, who rolled roughly onto her back. The captain grunted, struggling to catch her breath. Her own dagger protruded from her chest, and the colorless blouse she wore already stained with blood. The doctor ran forward. I can help, he said, but she slapped him hard with the back of her paw and sent him reeling backwards. He laid amazed, his hand up to his cheek. Captain Florence got unsteadily to her feet and shook off the badgers trying to assist her. Martha could see the dagger had gone in deep, and that there was little if any of them would be able to do to save her. You win this duel, said Captain Florence, her voice rough and ragged with exhaustion. Let's call it a draw, said the doctor, from where he laid. Huh, said Captain Florence, good plan. She lunged for him. One of the badgers stood beside her and scratched her heavy gun. Thanks, Iceball, said the captain. Said Iceball. Terrified, it's okay. The Captain Florence jabbed the gun towards the doctor. Her eyelids flickered as she fought to stay conscious. You can live, she told the doctor, if you come here and kiss my booties. The doctor gasped at her, and then straightened his tie and looked up at Martha. Do it, Martha told him, please. He grinned at her. What time do you make it? He asked. The question completely threw her. What? She said. Doctor, she'll kill you. Oh yeah, said the doctor. She'll probably do it anyway. I just wanted to know the time. Despite everything, Martha glanced down at her watch. Nearly half 4 in the morning, she said. The doctor nodded. How nearly? He said. 28 minutes past. She told him. Right, said the doctor. He got slowly to his feet, rushed himself down, and looked up at the Captain Florence. You can't win, he told her. Your pirates have had a glimpse of another life, and they'll never go away. Your clients are going to kill you if you go back to them, and you seem to have a dagger sticking out of your front. Captain Florence said, can still kill you. Yes, you can, said the doctor. But didn't I say, if you strike me down, I shall come back more powerful than I could possibly imagine? Doctor, said Martha. She could see that the dying captain had nothing left to lose. The doctor turned to her and grinned. I always wanted to say that. Don't worry, Martha. It's going to be all right. I'll be fine. Really. It's all going to be fine. She turned back to Captain Florence. I can help you, if you let me, show you a better way of living. What do you say? Captain Florence stood, blood pouring from her wound, and looked like she was considering. Then she shrugged. Nah, she said, and shot him. Martha screamed, running forward. Captain Florence fell backwards, her body limp, and the doctor stood quite calmly as the pink light consumed him. All right, dear, a voice he recognized. The doctor opened his eyes to see a cartoon sheep smiling back at him, as had been drawn on the side of the chipped mug of tea, which was being held in front of his face. He struggled a bit to sit up and gladly took the tea. Thank you, he said. He found himself in the alleyway between a huge and noisy machine of the engine rooms. The TARDIS stood in his space where it had first materialized. In front of it stood several of his friends, Miss Winsworth, who handed him the tea. Behind her stood Archibald and Dashiell and several mouthless men. Archibald waved, and the doctor grinned back at him, and at all of them. Well, he said, that's early. I wasn't sure that would really work.